Tell you what, for me, it doesn't get any better than late March hitting the Nolin River in search of white bass. Just got down here today, and apparently the fish must be starting to bite because I see a lot of people up and down the bank. Did you have any luck today?
Just one.
One? I'm gonna walk up and down the bank today, see if anybody's having any luck. It looks like some of them are catching some fish. It's all about catching the water at the right time. And usually in March is the time to start checking it, but you really want to get that water if it's slightly rising after a warm rain. That's when it can be gangbusters. What do you know, fellas?
Good, man.
Been all right?
Yeah.
Grown up a little bit in the last 4 or 5 months. My buddy Evan and his dad Dan are down here. It looks like they found the honey hole and they're catching some white bass too. Let me get a stringer. Those white bass fight, don't they, bud?
Yeah. There's one.
You got one? Oh, it's a white bass. That's a good one too. Good job, buddy. That's a big female. That's what we want right there. Here we go. Man, I was barely moving that bait. Barely moving that bait. A little small one here. I'll tell you, these things, they fight so incredibly well. Just so much fun to catch. You know, and the great thing is, I'm looking up and down these banks, and there's so many people that get down and enjoy this style of fishing. You can go on a boat, and you got some guys here doing that, but also just grab you a couple of little lures. Really, anything you can catch a crappie on, you can catch a white bass on. Either spinners, hair jigs, and when the water gets stained like this, I like throwing something with some pink or something with some chartreuse. It seems to work really, really well. But man, this little fish right here doesn't look like much. Had this rod bent around. They fight so incredibly well. Just so much fun. We're gonna let this one grow up another year. Evan is the same young man that got a house right down from my place on Nolin Lake, and picked him up last year for a surprise fishing trip. White bass, white bass. That's what we've been looking for. Nice job, buddy. You been catching big fish?
Yeah.
You can't beat that. I'll tell you what, Evan, I know you play baseball and your family likes to get out and spend time outdoors. I have to think that a spring break, an entire week at the lake when the fishing's really good, is probably perfect spring break for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I like being out here, just catching white bass, and just the thought of being out here in nature. It's just really fun and peaceful. I love it.
So what's your favorite thing about white bass fishing?
The fight.
Yeah, they fight like crazy for their size. Sometimes they'll trick you. You'll be fighting the thing to the bank and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this thing is huge. And you get it in, you're like, that is what was pulling my line that hard? That fish ain't 6 inches long. They're fun to fight. You like eating them?
I love eating.
I tell you what, I know me and my kids, we love eating them too. My wife, you know how to clean them and get that red meat out. They are hard to beat. They're fantastic to eat.
That's right. I love them.
You know, I know that you have a boat and you fish from a boat quite a bit. A lot of times you go find the fish, but when these fish are making a run up the river like this, you can kind of stay in the same place and you let the fish come to you. And you might have 20 and 30-minute stretches without getting a bite, and then you may catch 3 or 4 in 3 casts.
Oh.
Got him?
Yeah, I got him.
Nice, there you go, you're on the other side again. You know, if you look at this water, it's kind of got a mud line that's out there. By the bank's kind of clean. You're making long enough casts that you're able to fish both that mud line and this mud line. What have we got?
Seems pretty nice. It's pull and drag.
Another beautiful white bass. Nice job, buddy.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good one. Dan, you know, you and I have spoke before about catching white bass. I always said that March and April down here on the river was really the best time to catch them.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me about this, and I'm glad it worked out. We could be down here at the same time and catch some fish together.
Yeah, you know, you and I get to hang out a lot in the summertime, and then, you know, you got a house right down the road from us. We became lake time friends, but March is kind of the time I don't get to spend a whole lot of time at the lake, so this is bonus days for us to kind of get out here and do this and to catch fish.
Yeah, it's a bonus. The weather's beautiful and the fish are biting, so that's where we want to be. Now that's a fish.
That fish there's got an attitude. I've probably thrown back more than I've kept, and I would not throw that one back. I believe I would keep that one.
Yeah.
Dan, that's a great fish, man.
Yeah, that's a good looking guy there.
How'd that one hit? Did he just smoke it?
Oh, he smoked it, yeah. Yeah. Well, sure are pretty too. I like to appreciate how pretty they are.
Dan, I guess we met about 4 or 5 years ago. I noticed that your son, Evan, had an extreme interest in fishing. He wanted to fish, and I was able to fish with him a couple times. But we were trying to catch bass in the jumps, and that's a lot of fun. But you know, to do that, you almost need a boat.
Mm-hmm.
You actually are here for a week for kids' spring break, have your boat at your dock, hopped in the car and ran down here just to try this out. You know, there's less to deal with as far as the boat and the trolling motor. Just walk down the bank with a handful of jigs and catch fish like that. You can't beat that.
No, I can't beat it at all. I'm glad you told me about it and we were able to work it out till we could be here together.
How old were you when you kind of got into fishing?
Probably about Evan's age, 10 or 12, 13 years old, when my grandmother used to take me fishing out in eastern Indiana, Brookville Lake, and we used to catch a lot of channel cat and bluegill and crappies and everything we could out there. That was a good time. Kind of got me started. I'm glad I've been able to pass that on to Evan.
As a dad, you gotta love when he gets out here and wants to do this as much as he's doing it, because you don't have to worry about him being in any trouble. He's eat up with it.
Oh, he is. He is definitely ate up with it.
It was a pleasure getting down here and seeing you. We'll be spending a lot of time together this summer with our entire families together.
Yeah.
But hey, these fish will be doing this tomorrow too. You and Evan got choices. You can run back up here and catch them again.
That's right.
Yeah, I think so.